Dixon Show. I'm Gabriella Cruz alongside the top dog. Oh, he's barking today. We got so much to get into. Really quick, first, your reactions to the Super Bowl, because I know we were both kind of busy. I didn't get to say, hey, what did you think of this whole thing?
And I was a little disappointed because, but I understand. I know you've been out of town. You've been all over the place. You ended up in Chi-Town, which is Chicago. The Windy City is what other names they call it? Chi-Town, Windy City. Is that about it? And first of all, did you have fun?
I did. It was a quick.
Good.
It was a quick trip. My boyfriend and his friends. It was just kind of a Super Bowl thing. So I went out there and then turned around a couple days later and came back here. But I was thinking of you. I was like, what a weird game. I know Hanford's probably turned this off. He'll watch the rest later.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say this. And, Pat, we've come a long way on the show right now because did you hear what she said? She said her and her boyfriend.
That's right. That's a new development.
That's a new development. And
it's not a new relationship, but it's a new on TV that you noted it that way.
We are so happy for you to see you gleaming and just beaming over there. So
I talked about it before.
Yeah, but
I think that's the first time you said boyfriend. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at her. She's like, yeah. So did
we'll
you
have to talk about Taylor Swift getting booed too?
Oh my God! Yeah, we got so much that we're gonna jump into.
We're gonna dive into all that. We will talk Super Bowl and all that. What were your plans though over the weekend?
Well, first of all, I'm not finished with you.
Okay. Sure.
I got to get back to. So you guys you ended up in Chicago. Where'd you go first?
Drove to Michigan, then we drove to Chicago. His friend, believe it or not, he's got a whole Latvian group of friends. He's Latvian, and they grew up going to Latvian church and camp. It's kind of crazy. I don't know. They all speak 2 languages, and they're very close knit. That's all I know. But it was important for me to meet them, and they were all very warm and welcoming. It was a puppy party.
Good. Oh, a puppy party.
So the one friend was having a party for his puppy who turned 1, and believe it or not, there was like 4 other friends in the group who also had like little baby puppies. So it actually was so fun. We like drank and ate, and there were just puppies running around we got to hold. Actually, I gave Pat one of the pictures I took from the weekend because I snuck one into my vest. You can barely see it. This little puppy is 11 weeks old. That's Nico. At some point, he was just tired out from running around with the other dogs, so I stuck him in my vest and just hung on to him, and he took a little nap in there.
Well, I was going to say, now I see a puppy, but that first photo, I was going to say, and how you could have tricked us or something and had a pillow because we couldn't.
Right in. You can barely see his little face.
Well, I have to tell you, when you said puppy party, that's right down my alley because I have a little bit of a dog background.
I know
so
you know dogs.
I love the dogs, but the most important thing, you guys had a good time.
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
It was a good time, and I made it back in time for our show. What were the top dogs' plans?
Well, but before you made it back, you say safe, but I was looking at your windshield out there. What the hell happened there?
I know. So here's the deal. On the way into work today, would you believe that I'm driving maybe a little fast on the highway as I do. And this giant slab of ice flew off of a van that wasn't actually in the same lane as me. He was actually 1 lane over, but it flew back, swirled in the air, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to lane change or even really slow down because, I had cars around me. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to have to eat this. Hanford, this thing shattered my entire windshield.
Wow, that must have scared the shit out of you.
Scared the shit out of me, but also I opened my eyes and I'm like, I cannot believe that it's still intact. Like, the whole thing is spiderweb cracked. The whole thing's, shattered, but it's still there, So, super blessed. Really close call. That's going to definitely be...
I was going to say, Pat, in case we don't get to it, but I'm sure we are, but that would definitely be our Lipton hard
hit. Talk about a hard iced tea. That was a hard hit. We're usually talking about the athletes on the field. Every once in a while, life gives you a hard hit. And Hanford, I'm just happy to be
yeah, we're glad you're safe, Gab. That's the big thing. We love Lipton, but more glad that Gab is safe.
We love Lipton. I'll probably have to crack one of those open later because I still got the shakes from the whole thing. But yeah, it was just what a bizarre way to come into work today. And this whole last couple months have been odd, but.
Well, I'll tell you what I did. I didn't really do anything. I just kind of laid low. I was at home. I watched the game. And I just had my little pad there because I was taking notes. I know Pat was going to get on me. I had to take some notes, so I know he was going to make sure.
That's right. You know
that I was ready to go. But I thought it was good. Can I jump into the commercials, or you want to do that later?
Yeah, let's jump into the commercials. I want to ask producer Pat really quick what his plans were too. What'd you end
Oh
up
yeah,
doing,
hosting
Pat?
a Super Bowl party, the second annual McGuire Super Bowl party at our apartment.
Wait a minute.
Sweet.
Hold
Super Bowl party at McGuire's.
it. God damn it, hold it. Now,
He's gonna ask where his
right. He hosted a Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
Now,
No leftovers for the top dog, though, unfortunately.
Gab, I know you were out of town, but still, did you get an invitation?
Listen.
If you got an invitation, I'm going.
My plans were very known. Pat was doing his plan. Listen, we already knew that you're too cool for probably to have any more plans.
Well, Pat, I cannot believe you didn't invite me.
Yeah, I can. No, I'll bring you some leftovers though. We got plenty of leftover food. Buffalo chicken dip. What's you guys like? What are you going for? That's my meal for a Super Bowl. Buffalo chicken dip.
Hate to see me coming.
It hates to see me coming, dude.
What
are we eating at the Super Bowl, guys?
Yeah, I feel like you probably have a spot.
I do not like buffalo chicken dip.
I just knew that about you.
That's
too mainstream.
What is it? The texture, the flavor, the spiciness.
You know what I did though? You know what I ate? I stopped and I got me a slab of ribs.
Okay. Yep.
And I also got
we love ribs.
Green beans.
I knew you'd have a green.
And I got some baked beans.
Okay.
And I ordered about
did
5.
You get this from Mission Barbecue?
Yes. City Barbecue.
Okay.
Barbecue. Wait, get that straight. City Barbecue.
It's important to get them straight.
Right.
Because some people are Team Mission, and I remember you were saying City.
Yeah, City Barbecue. So. And then what I did was I got 5 wings, and I made sure all the wings were flats. But and it was just so good. But I ate that before the game, guys, and then I just sit down and I just sit there and I watch the game, and I just thought, I don't want to.
Yeah, we'll get into
I don't want to get into that thing, but I thought the commercials were great. I thought the halftime show was great. I thought it was just all the way around.
Except for the game, right?
Well, the game was a dud. But I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
The halftime show.
Okay, halftime show.
What were your thoughts on that?
My thoughts were big Kendrick Lamar fan.
Yeah.
I think he's had a really big past year for him. Cleaned up at the Grammys. What a short king. Like, give him his flowers. He's incredible. Love his music. I thought the show was...
Did he win 5 Grammys?
I forget the
I think it was 5.
Amount,
I think it was 5, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely showed out. Got his recognition there. I thought it was kind of mid only on the account of, like, we've seen such spectacular shows before with Lady Gaga and Prince and all the different ones out there. Bruno Mars. It's tough. It's tough to bring that type of energy when you're
jump back to the halftime show. You mentioned it, Lady Gaga. That performance. Did you down? I think it was on Bourbon Street or whatever it was. Did you see the song that she performed before the game?
Oh.
Did you catch that or did you miss that?
I didn't catch that.
Oh, Pat, did you see it?
I did not.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable because what they did was they were talking about everything that had happened, and I think they did it right there on the scene on Bourbon Street where everything happened. And they had Michael Strahan, they had Jimmy Johnson, they had Tom Brady. Really, Tom Brady and Strahan was the two narrators of this whole thing, doing all the talking, and then Lady Gaga, they had a piano sitting right out there in the middle, and she was singing. And I'm telling you, I didn't know she could sing. I knew she could sing, but I didn't know that she could sing really, really good.
Yeah, she's a star. A Star Is Born. Have you seen that movie? I mean, she's incredible. She's got a background in like jazz and classical performance, so she's really got. She's been classically trained and it shows. I think that's why she has so much range, but she can put a lot of feeling and a lot of technique into her performance.
Hanford, you would love that movie.
Yeah.
A Star Is Born, you would love that movie.
But Pat, let me ask you this. And they showed, like they all had on these T-shirts, but all of them was there and they were lined up and then the whole thing was just packed. Yeah. But just to give you an example, I think the commissioner was there. I think he was there because they were all like walking down the street. Pat, who was the guy who used to coach at the Saints, but now he's with Denver? He's there.
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton.
There you go.
For instance, I looked in the crowd. Sean Payton was standing right there. All the stars, everyone was there, and it was just so touching. And Lady Gaga just stole the show with that singing. It was unbelievable. unbelievable. But I had to bring that up.
Speaking of stealing the show, deviating a little bit from the halftime show, which, by the way, real quick, your thoughts on Kendrick?
You know what? I kind of liked it. I thought it was very interesting because a lot of people don't know when you got to. It's kind of hard for a rapper to. That's kind of out of their element.
Yeah.
Totally. And
it's a tough one halftime performance for a rapper. I think it's just a harder. Most people who are really into rap, they're gonna appreciate it and see some of those small touches that maybe the average person looking for a wow performance isn't gonna notice.
Right, but I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was an excellent show. But I couldn't believe because I didn't know whether or not he was gonna go there. You know,
and he was teasing the song.
Yeah, because you know the whole thing with the beef with him and Drake. And I didn't thought because, you know, Drake, is it true Drake have lawsuits and all, or he's filing lawsuits against the record label and against Kendrick Lamar and everybody? See, Pat knows all that stuff.
Yeah, Serena Williams doing the
Serena was giving man.
I was shocked when I saw her. Yeah, she was there. You see that little, look at me. Like,
she was doing the trip walk.
Yeah.
And the other thing was the fact that we were talking about this pre-show. It was like Hanford knew all the tea.
I did.
About she used to date Drake, and then who else? SZA used to.
SZA, yep.
SZA, both of them used to date Drake, and I thought that was very, very interesting that he would have both of them in there. And
he name dropped Drake and then smiled at the camera at one point too.
Yeah, that's right.
He really?
Yeah, he name dropped. It's in the song too.
He covered all of his.
And did you tell it? They put the camera when it was time for him to say Drake. They put the camera right on him.
Yeah, they let him get
solo
his
shot.
smile off. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this, and this is something serious, and I want to know how you guys feel about this because Serena is married right now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you think a husband feel a kind of a little way or something because it used to.
No, because the husband's your best friend.
But I'm talking about.
Husband's gonna be like, yeah, go.
No. Here's what I'm saying, though, Gab. She used to date Drake, but that should be gone now. And then you want to come back on there, and I don't know. You think she was maybe wanted to. Like stick it to him a little bit or something.
Stick it to Drake, but not her husband.
No, not her husband.
If her husband's cool.
She loves her. I'm sure she loves her husband. I'm not doubting that.
That's funny, like that. And I'm on your team, and I'm on team like Serena. So screw all your exes. So he's probably like, yeah, go for it. That's creative. That's funny, and you're a bad bee. So why not?
But I tell you what, Kendrick Lamar, you got to give him credit. But I didn't think he was going to do the song. But he did. What about Samuel Jackson?
Yeah,
I mean,
cool.
Pat, did you see what he had on?
Yeah, the Uncle Sam outfit. That was unbelievable.
I could see you pulling up to do that.
Right.
Like if Big Play had a halftime performance,
Right. Hey.
You would be out here doing some.
Right.
What would Hanford?
But listen to this. This is the thing that got me. Samuel was he was all over Kendrick in the beginning. A couple of songs that he played, he was like, "Hey man, you got to do better than this. This is okay, but you have to bring it." And then when what's her name? Sizzle came out. Is that her name? When she came out, she is just amazing. I mean, she's she can sing. I mean, she really can sing. And that song, the two of them have together. And then Samuel came back out and he said, "Man, you're doing better. You're cooking now. You're starting to cook now a little bit." And Gabby, what's the name? You found that song. What's the name of that song that the two of them?
The SZA
and Kendrick Lamar. They sing the song together. But I'm telling you, it was just a great song. But I found it very, very interesting now.
Even that I thought could have been it could have been more explosive. She's phenomenal. Obviously.
I thought it was very, very interesting that he brought out the two ladies that used to date Drake. And the beef was good. It was alive and well. Hanford lives for the beef.
Loves the drama.
He loves the drama.
But I thought the halftime show. I thought it. Let me say this. If you guys were to rate it, what would you say? A, B, C, D.
The halftime show. It's hard to say. I would maybe give it a B. I don't know if I want to give it a C only because rap is different. It's a different appreciation.
Yeah.
And art is art. It's going to be different things to different people. I think for the halftime show, we expect something super wowy. But all things considered, it's a different type of appreciation. It's a B for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a B plus only because he played that. One song.
Not like us.
Not like us.
Not like us.
I'd give it a B plus too because maybe a B, but the performance was fine or whatever, but when you think of like the grandiose, like you're talking about with Rihanna, the way that she was up on like up on the lights on the top of the arena, like Kendrick did a great job. It was a good performance, had very political in nature too, which I liked, but I don't know. It just overall it wasn't that.
But to be fair, I also think that a big piece for him is not every performer comes out and does the halftime show,
right? And
they're singing the entire time,
right?
Like if you noticed in Rihanna, it's no knock, but I mean, it's just the fact of the matter was she used a ton of backing tracks to the point where she was pregnant. I mean, she whatever. Yeah. But Kendrick was with the amount of coordination that there was, and for him to be
the whole time,
giving it, I mean, from a performance standpoint, he brought his A game.
Did you guys know he was that short?
I did.
Yeah, that's why he's so angry. We said that last week. Remember?
I didn't.
He's why he's so angry.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was that short. Like, because he doesn't have a Lil in his name. He's not Lil Kendrick.
Yeah.
He's not,
that is such a good point, Gab.
John, Lil.
Wow, that is such a good point. I didn't even ever think of that.
So the fact that's actually a big move by a short guy.
Big move
by a short king.
How about
to
that?
not put Lil in front of your name because
you guys know who also brought their A game though? Did you know that? You guys.
Yeah.
Look at Big Play ad.
Oh.
Look at our guys.
We brought our A game.
Hanford Dixon, Gab.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I hope everyone saw that during the game, but that was really bringing the A game too, don't you think? Download the new Big Play app and make sure you get on there. What'd you guys think of the commercial? Loved it?
Oh, I thought our commercial was awesome.
Loved
it.
Did
a great job.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great.
Really
I thought it was great.
I must have done that, Hanford, where I take the ball and shove it in your chest. I might have given Hanford like some bruises.
I know.
Because I was sticking it to him.
Right.
You're like, hey.
Boom. You're supposed to hand it off, but you wasn't handing it off. You were just That's all right.
Oh, well, that was the other thing I was going to say was, speaking of stealing the show, Big Play stealing the show at the Greater Cleveland Sports Awards because that was a fun event. Shout out to the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission. They just did such a great job executing this year. We had 2 stages, beautiful arrangement on the floor of Rocket Mortgage Field House. They had the fireside chat with the Boys of Summer from the 90s, the World Series team. Chris Rose did a great job hosting.
He did.
Big Play was able to be there doing interviews, and it was cool to have all of us a little dapper.
Yeah, look at Gab right here on stage crushing it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So
thank you. Yeah.
Can we say that you were the co-host?
Well,
of course.
Yeah, so I maybe a co-host.
Yeah.
I typically help contribute from a hosting standpoint.
Right.
And so we got to get all dolled up, everybody.
And you did a really good job, though.
Thank you.
I mean, really did.
It.
I mean, I'm not just I'm not just saying this.
I'm not the meat and potatoes, but it's definitely fun to be a part of. And I gave Papa Cruz a couple shout outs because he came too. But yeah, really nice job, and it was just fun for Team Big Play to be in the house. Yeah, look at us.
Well,
look at us all.
You know what happened? They raised a lot of money, and Papa Cruz probably mad at you. You know why? Because every time I turn around, you were telling him that he better go spend some money.
Yeah. You better put a bid in on these progressive field seats, Papa Cruz.
I guarantee you, he was hot. I have to say this too. I thought it was really, really nice that they renamed that one of the awards for Jimmy. Yeah.
Such a beautiful tribute that they had for Jim Donovan, and I love that we've got this new Courage Award in his name.
And his wife and his daughter was there, and I just thought that was it almost just the whole thing almost brought tears to everybody's eyes there. But it was just I thought that was really.
I definitely cried during the rehearsals watching it.
Right.
Because we had the little dress rehearsal the day before, and I was like, oh, I'm not ready for this. He was just such a special guy, special sports commentator, and just a special piece of our Cleveland community. So that was really nice of them. Again, big shout out to the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission, and I'm glad we could raise so much money because of all that they do for our economy, but also our sports community and just Cleveland at large. Really cool to see the community.
Who is the head guy behind that?
David Gilbert.
David Gilbert.
Yeah.
He was on the Big Play Cleveland show and also on Object of the Game. So I've seen him twice on Big Play Network.
And I saw David. Obviously, I talked to him a little bit at the show, but I saw him. I think I went to the D.C. game, the Washington game when we played there, and he and I we were leaving the game at the same time. We were just right outside the stadium, and we both was waiting on our cars to come pick us up. And he's just the nicest man. And you talking about a guy that's really trying to bring a lot of things to the city of Cleveland. Yeah. I think that's pretty much what he do. But he's just a nice man.
People need to know him more about him. David Gilbert is not only just really good at what he does, like he's a go-getter, dude. Like the amount of events that come to Cleveland is insane, and all the economic impact. But bigger than that, I was telling my friend Allison, who was helping me at the show, something I noticed about the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission, because that was my very first internship, actually. I was still in school. There is like no turnover over there. Think about all the places you work and people get out of there, on to the next thing, blah, blah, blah. For David to make people feel so valued that all of his core people, that, Rachel and Mark Lemke, Matt Sena, Becky Greisman, like, these are all the people that were there when I interned in 2012.
And they're still there.
And they're still there because they're made to feel so valued. And I think that speaks a lot to David and his leadership and what he's built over there. So not only does he do a lot for the community and sports, he's just a good dude. I
can't believe we've gone this long in this opening break. It's because of you.
I think we got to take a break. Sorry, Pat.
No, this is great, guys. Love it.
We're all amped up from the weekend. So we'll take a break. We'll dive into Super Bowl right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We're going to get into our NFL headlines.
Nailed
brought
it.
to you by Northeast Factory Direct. Hanford's cracking up because I had to do this 3 times.
No, you did.
I didn't know what we were talking about. Northeast Factory Direct, our friends Alex and the crew have always been so helpful. And this is the place to go if you're looking for your next mattress. Believe it or not, they've got just so many options: memory foam, latex, even organic mattresses. And for way less, obviously, than what you would pay at any of those fancy retail stores. You can also shop online at northeastfactorydirect.com. In addition to visiting them at any of their stores, they've got Cleveland, Euclid, Macedonia, or North Canton. And don't forget to ask about that Hanford Dixon bonus so you can get a little deal when you head over there.
Well, I got to tell you this. I told you Alex and I work out together, and he told me to tell you hi because you and his daughter, I think you guys went to school together or
we
something.
Went to high school
High
together.
school together,
so
yeah.
It's funny, I've known him forever.
Yeah,
done interviews with him with Channel 19, so he's been around forever.
So I've gotten that out the way. So I said hi. So that's all I have to do.
Thank you for passing that along.
Yeah. Can we talk about the commercials though a little bit? I know you want to go. Yeah, we haven't talked about those.
What was your favorite one?
Well,
Super Bowl commercials.
It was funny because you watch these things, and I love to say that was funny. Because I just say that all the time. But my favorite one was with, what's his name, Seal, the singer? Is that him? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Did you guys?
He used to be married to Heidi Klum.
Okay. Did you guys see that one?
All right. So people were talking about this. Had his, figure out which one this was.
He had his head, and it was on a, it was like on a seal's body or something.
Oh, on a seal's body.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that right now.
It was so funny that he was singing, and I thought it was just classic. I thought it had to be one of the better.
Look at this, guys.
Funny.
Yeah,
a kiss from a lime, they say.
Yeah,
because it's a Baja Blast commercial.
Yeah,
that is funny.
That's ridiculous.
Oh my God.
It was just perfect for him.
I know you had to be cracking up at so many of these commercials.
That was my favorite one.
Pat, what was your favorite?
Jeez, I don't even know. Besides the big play one, I don't even. The Doritos one was pretty good.
Yeah, people were talking about the Doritos one.
So did you guys notice how the Pringles and the Little Caesars pizza, they had almost identical ads? Did you notice that?
No.
So
I
Eugene
saw the
Levy's,
Little Caesars, though.
The Little Caesars had Eugene Levy's eyebrows.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then the Pringles one was the Mr.
mustache.
Pringle mustache.
Okay.
So almost identical ads.
Oh.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
You know what?
Imagine spending that much of your budget and then it's identical to somebody else.
And I have that. You would think that probably someone at the network or someone would say something because they went through all the commercials before.
You would have thought, but somebody at Fox really screwed them over.
Maybe they were just like, it's too late now.
You know what? Before you get to yours, you know what? Another one of mine I thought was really, really good. Did you guys see the commercial? It was, I think it was a WeatherTech, those little floor mats and all that.
People were talking about this on Twitter, but I didn't see it.
But they had
was a bunch, and I
the
might have
Golden Girls, like all these. They had all these old ladies doing it, and it was classic. I mean, absolutely classic. I thought that one.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, the T one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was look at them all. They're all going.
That's funny.
It was a good one. I'm telling you, that was one that I thought was
so funny.
I know that you had to be laughing at all.
Oh,
I really liked the one where Tom Brady made fun of himself. They were kind of poking fun at, he's gotten a lot of flack for could be a sharper analyst. He's still coming into his own as a broadcaster. It's a tough thing to transition into. And so he's gotten a little flack this year. He did a commercial where he needed new batteries, basically.
Oh, you talking about when he
like
fell asleep or something? He just
down.
powered down. Yeah.
He gave him the batteries. So there was that kind of poking fun at himself, and then it ended with him making fun of himself some more about the roast. Have you seen the roast of Tom Brady or some of these roasts that they do every year?
Yes.
I thought that was it was a short commercial, but it was funny. They snuck a lot into there. I thought the writing was great. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
Well, speaking of a short commercial, it was a short guy that did the roast. And you guys know who I'm talking about. It was so funny because now he's on doing the ones with LeBron all the time now.
I'm trying to think.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know exactly
Kevin Hart
who I
was
was talking about. So that's what. But I thought the one with Tom. I agree with you.
That reminds me of Nikki Glazer saying at the roast this year, whoever it was, she said, "Long story, Kevin Hart."
Yeah.
Man, that's brutal.
And did you hear Tom was taking some shots at Kevin Hart? I mean, all in fun. It was nothing like beef or anything. But he was. I'm talking about during the game and the telecast. A couple things came out. He was taking a couple. He was taking a couple of shots at him. Guys, I have to tell you this too. And Myles Garrett.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get over into this territory yet.
Guys, he's been pretty much going. You haven't even asked me what I thought of that whole thing, but listen to this. But you got to hear this. You got to hear this, Gap. Pat, you got to hear this.
I'm listening.
So Myles Garrett has been pretty much going on every show. Obviously, he was down in New Orleans at the Super Bowl, and there's a few shows that he's gone on and a couple of things that he's said. And listen to this one quote right here. Now he said this one. He said, and I quote him, he said, "I don't feel like our future is aligned with winning." That's what he said. He said, "I don't feel like our future, the future of the team, is aligned with winning, meaning winning football." Now, I'm like, damn. I mean, hear him say like that, guys. I think he's pretty much already checked out here. I think he's gone.
Well, he leaned in. He said what he said originally, and then people were surprised that he really leaned in and did this little Radio Row tour and everything before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, he gave us a heads up, and then he stuck by it. So in my opinion, I wasn't too shocked but I mean, it's tough for the fans.
Yeah, this particular quote came on yesterday. I mean, on Sunday, this particular quote came on a Sunday. Yep. He was on an NFL pregame show. I think it was with Greeny and a lot of those guys, and he was on there, and that's where he came on, and he made that statement, and I was like, guys, there's a couple things that can happen with this whole Myles Garrett thing. I mean, obviously, he still have a couple of years left on his contract. And he can really, obviously, try to make it very, very difficult for the Cleveland Browns, meaning not show up, meaning he can show up and not practice, claiming that he has an injury or something. Because if he does that, if he shows up, if he shows up, he's still going to get paid. But if he doesn't show up, obviously, he's not going to get paid. But he can just be a wrecking ball as far as being in that locker room, and I don't think we want that. I don't think we need that, because if Myles Garrett really wants out, he could probably force his way out, and people could say what they want to say, because I like to go back to Jimmy Butler and that whole thing with Miami Heat. I mean, Jimmy Butler was still under contract. I mean, but Jimmy Butler refused to play, and as a result, Pat Riley had no choice before the trade line. He had to get rid of him because they wanted to get something back for him. And that's what they did. They traded him to the Golden State Warriors. And I know that's basketball, but I'm talking, and those basketball players are a little bit different than football players. But Myles Garrett said he won out. And guys, I think he's checked out. I really believe that he's checked out this time. I don't think he want to play for the Cleveland Browns. And then obviously we know the whole story. He consulted LeBron James, talked to him about the whole thing. Now, I don't know this for sure, but Pat, are those guys talking about LeBron James and his crew, are they representing him?
Yeah, Rich Paul.
Rich
Clutch
Paul?
Sports. Yeah, Rich Paul is I believe Miles' new agent.
Okay.
So it makes sense that he would have talked to LeBron. But also, like, when he's going on this media tour, don't you think he loses a little bit of his, like, lovability in Cleveland?
Yeah.
I mean,
so
initially
that's the
everyone.
risk with it.
Yeah.
So that's the crazy thing. We've already seen how LeBron and people make business decisions. And at first, LeBron, everyone was pissed about that.
Yeah.
And I think Miles is just leaning in, like he's taking a stance for himself. It's tough for fans. It's tough for the organization. But whether we like it or not, he's betting on himself right now, and he's going in 100%. Because why would he not? If that's the way he feels, and he's strong in his convictions, and he wants to win, and it's about winning, that's why I wasn't totally shocked. But to your point, this is going to be
just
tough
did he
for
need to
fans.
parade around Radio Row, though? That's the thing.
Yeah.
I hate him for it, but, like,
I think he's
shocking.
trying to do this to, like, strengthen his case a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think it's not
nationally, yeah.
It's hard because fans are taking it personal, but it doesn't really have anything to do with us, believe it or not. I don't think it does.
And I think I understand both sides of this whole thing. I understand where Miles is coming from, and obviously I understand the fans because, and let's face it, I don't think any of us right here on the show, between the three of us, I don't think we want to see him go.
Right.
I think we want to keep
We
him.
want to hang on to Miles Garrett.
Yeah, we
Our
want to keep him
guy.
in Cleveland, but we also
I
understand.
do understand. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon show. We're going to do our Super Bowl recap brought to you by Garage Beer. And I guess where we could start is the score, huh, Hanford? 40-22. And Patrick Mahomes looked like a different player. If you would have told me that at half it'd be 24-0, Chiefs are down, hadn't even gotten on the scoreboard, Patrick Mahomes, 2 interceptions, one's a pick six, a couple of sacks on Pat Mahomes. And they just, Eagles' defensive pressure was just making Mahomes look like a totally different person. I would have called you crazy. I would not have bet on, I would have not bet anything like that.
Well, look at you. You go, girl. Pat, who would have thought, now, the way you ran that off, now I would think that you're the one that played in the National Football League and not me. That was pretty damn good there.
Well, I
but
just couldn't
no,
believe it was
but
unfolding. Yeah.
but I agree with you. You know what, Gab? Guys, looking at this game, I knew that it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a very, very tough football game as far as scoring, a lot of scoring. And when you look at these two defensive coordinators, Vic Fangio, who is the defense coordinator for the Eagles, and Steve Spagnuolo, who is the defense coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, these are two titans as far as defensive coordinators. And I didn't think there were going to be a lot of points. And if you'd have told me that they were going to score 40 points, talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, and what was the other, 22 points? 22.
That in the second half, like they couldn't get anything cooking.
But one thing that I realized in the National Football League,
Pressure make a pipe burst.
pressure will make a pipe burst. It really will. And I don't care who the quarterback is, if his name is Pat Mahomes, I don't care if it's Dan Marino, I don't care if it's Tom Brady. When you are putting that pressure on them, they can't take it. They can't take it. And that's what happened during this ball game. And this is the thing that really surprised me, guys, throughout the game. The Philadelphia Eagles did it without blitzing the quarterback.
Right.
They didn't blitz him. They had pretty much four guys up front. And what they did was,
Put some respect on that.
yes,
Eagles
they put
defense.
their head down and they said, hey, we going after your ears. And that's what they did. I mean, Pat, did you hear that? I kind of cut that off a little bit.
Yeah,
so
that
you
was
didn't-
nice. I
so you
appreciate
didn't
you.
have to
Bleep it out for
bleep
you?
it out or anything. But they went after him. And again, it goes back to Mahomes. Did you guys see his feet? his feet was chatterly. I mean, he didn't feel comfortable in the pocket, and he didn't feel like he had any time to throw the football. So as a result, you saw a lot of passes that were low. You saw a lot of passes that were behind the wide receiver, and that's what pressure does to you. And I could not believe that. I think at halftime or some point during the game, the Eagles had more points than KC had yards. I mean, it was crazy. Yeah. I mean, for instance, the first half. Let me see what the numbers were in the first half. In the first half, they had a total of like 20-something yards. The Eagles had 179. They had one first down, guys. One first down. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes. I mean, we're talking about a guy who was going to after Brady to be the GOAT.
I had to keep blinking to be like, what?
Yeah.
And I kept looking. I was like, I'm Googling.
It felt like Ohio State, Oregon, where it was. Right. It was 34-0 in the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, the game. I never would have guessed it. Like I had Philly winning this, but 34-0. No way.
My question, top dog.
Okay.
Is if you're playing in this game,
okay,
the Chiefs.
Okay.
Can you explain how getting off to such a rough first half becomes exponentially more difficult from a charisma, if that's what you want to call it? Like the vibes in the locker room at the half and getting everybody on the same page and getting all that, having amnesia basically, getting a clean slate for the second half. How difficult is that for people on the highest stage, even for these reigning Super Bowl champions?
Yeah, it's tough because I guarantee you the speech that Reed was giving those guys in that locker room, let's get our shit together. We cannot afford any more of these childish penalties that we can get off the field and then we have a personal foul, or we can get off the field but no, we have an offside. We cannot afford any of those right now, because when you're down the way they are down and going into the third quarter, another thing that's against you is the clock. I mean, the clock is really, really against you. And when you have a team like the Eagles that are able to run the football the way they're able to run the football, that's when you really have to worry. Now, you could say what you want to say about Kansas City defense. They didn't play a bad ball game. I thought they played extremely well because Barkley, you can say what you want to say. They didn't give him a chance to get going.
Yeah, I mean, he only had 57 yards.
Right. They knew they had to stop him. And what they did was they went out and they went after him and they stopped him. And guys, I looked at some of you could say what you want to say about those corners, those defensive backs. I'm not going to give them a hard time because I looked at them, some of the coverage they had. I thought they had pretty darn good coverage on some of those passes that
that last touchdown, one of the last ones. I mean, he had his arm right in there.
Yeah, and that could have gone either way. I mean, you could have knocked the ball down or not. It could have gone either way. I just have to say, this day belonged to the Philadelphia Eagles, man.
Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts. 17 for 22, 221 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 72 rushing yards. I mean, it was his day.
Well, he had another little kid on that team from Alabama that was catching the ball that was pretty darn good. Look, I know Pat.
I'm moving for it. Hold on. I know who you're talking about.
Hey,
did you know the trivia question about him, though,
Hanford? No.
We'll get to that in 1 second here, but keep talking about Devontae Smith from Alabama. Yellahama.
You know what? I thought he had a good game. I thought he made some key catches. Because see, when I watch a defensive back or a corner, I watch and see how they let this receiver have a release off the line of scrimmage. Do they bump him? And those guys were bumping and running. Like I said, Jalen Hurts, you got to give him a lot of credit. He threw some accurate passes, and they were just on time throwing. And
Smith becomes the first player drafted from Alabama to score a Super Bowl touchdown.
There he is, right there, first one.
Yeah.
How about that though, Hanford? You think of all the good Alabama receivers, Julio Jones. I mean, there's so many. Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
But there's so many good Alabama wide receivers. Devontae Smith, the first one, the Heisman winner.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
That's really, really shocking. I was,
Ozzie Newsome?
yeah, I was really surprised of that. Did you hear him call Tom Brady call Ozzie's name out in the show?
I did not.
At the game? I think it was one of those little out patterns that they ran, and Tom Brady said, you know what? That came from Ozzie Newsome, because that was one of his signature routes, that little out pattern where you throw it really quick and then you get the first down and you keep moving the chain.
Okay, nice.
But I was shocked that Tom Brady said that. But guys, I have to say this, and it'll be interesting to me to hear you guys' thoughts on this too. But I was shocked how they manhandled the Kansas City Chiefs. I was just absolutely shocked.
It was bizarre because this is a team that has performed so dominantly all season long, found ways to win. People were saying it's rigged. People were saying about the officiating. And then all of a sudden you come out in this game and it's like...
Well, it was almost like they felt like they were entitled or all they had to do was show up and they were going to win this ball game. And the Eagles, you could tell, man, they were just ready.
I think the mark of the most elite team is going to be the team that overcomes adversity and how they react to it. So I think the coolest thing for me, that's why I asked you about the halftime question. Like, so once your morale is so down in the dumps at that half on the greatest stage, how difficult is it to get the emotions out of the way and get on track and everybody get their mojo back together collectively? It's a tall order. So, I mean, the best teams, the Chiefs are capable. The Chiefs are definitely capable, but they weren't capable yesterday. And so, I mean,
the hardest part too is they were physically dominated.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, they were,
because if you look at the
completely
defensive line for the Eagles just crushed the Chiefs offense. And I mean, the Eagles defense in the secondary was everywhere. So the Chiefs were dominated every single way.
Yeah.
You know what they needed though coming out at the half, and it wasn't any good because what happened was the good thing about it, they were getting the ball to start the third quarter, and they still went 3 and out. They still went 3 and out. What you want, something you need something good to happen so you can make yourself think or feel like you're back in the ballgame. A turnover or something, an interception for a touchdown, or just something. They needed some kind of spark.
Yes.
And it just didn't happen.
Yeah, it just didn't happen.
It didn't
I was
happen.
thinking the same thing. I kept telling, I was talking, we're like, all right, we kept theorizing that there was going to be one play or one thing that the Chiefs are going to get back in this. You know, you're never safe. However far ahead you think you are, you're never safe against the Chiefs. And it was just like, no, the Eagles were doubling down on everything. They just, like, whoever said it, manhandled them the whole way.
Hey, how about this, guys? Now, here's, what's the kid's name? God, I got it on the tip of my tongue, but you can look this up. How cool was it for this kid? This kid for the Eagles in the secondary. He's a rookie. He's a
Cooper
rookie.
DeJean.
He's a rookie. Listen
That's
to this. Not only is he a rookie, his birthday. His birthday.
That's right. Saquon's too. It was Saquon's too.
It's birthday.
Yeah.
Now, and you know what? He intercepts the ball, running back for a touchdown.
Oh, man.
Now, how many times you think that has happened in the Super Bowl?
Could you
That's
imagine?
the only time with this kid yesterday.
How about that?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's crazy.
I mean, it goes to show you, though, that pressure that they were getting on Mahomes, it felt like the 2020 Super Bowl against the Buccaneers. Mahomes, if you pressure him like that, you're going to get some picks. You're going to get sacks. You're going to win the game.
We don't see it often, but if
Yeah.
it's there,
And again, you could tell their chemistry was off.
yeah, totally off. Philadelphia defense sacked Mahomes 6 times, forced 3 turnovers, and scored that touchdown on him. So, whew.
Take me to break,
All right,
Gab.
let's get
Take
outta
me to
here.
break.
We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more Hanford Dixon show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon show. It's time for our Lipton Hard Iced Tea Hard Hit of the Game segment. And honestly, Hanford, there's no easier avenue to look at what the hard hit was unless you look at Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, you're exactly right because
And how many hard hits?
Yeah, I could tell you 6 of them.
Yep.
I mean, absolutely 6 of them because you know, who would have thought that they would be able to get to him, sack him 6 times, and in this ball game, and
I thought they were doing replays.
Well,
you're busy at a Super Bowl party, this and that. I'm like, is that another one, or did they just do another replay? I was shook. I couldn't comprehend what I was seeing.
And the good thing about it, see, you wasn't even drinking either, so that's the thing. You know what you were seeing was correct because you didn't even have a cocktail. But yeah, we talked about it earlier. I mean, they didn't blitz. Yeah. I mean, they got to him and they did not blitz this guy, and that's definitely.
It almost feels insulting. Like, you mean you got all that done? You didn't even have to bring out the big guns. Like, you really didn't even have to blitz the quarterback.
Well, a couple of times, Pat, and I don't know if you guys noticed this. I think one of them was on Travis Kelce because, and I understand the play. The play was a screen to him, and on that screen play, what you got to do is you got to bump that defensive end to make him think that you're blocking him, but then you release him and you go in the flat. But if you don't get enough of the guy, I mean, he's going to come clean, and your quarterback is not really going to have time to get that ball to you. And that's what happened on one of them because Patrick just didn't have time. And then again, after you're beating up on him so much, I mean, he you could tell his feet, man. He was just very, very scared in the pocket, and they were just beating on him. I mean, they were just beating on him. And then you look at it. I mean, I don't even know how many yards we had rushing, but it wasn't very many that we had rushing the football. And when you can't run the football, what happens is that allows those guys to just rear back and just go after you. I mean, absolutely go after the quarterback. And when they could do that, boy, they could really, really beat up on the guy. So the game was, again, I was shocked. I was just really, really, really shocked against the whole thing of everything that happened.
Yeah, you're talking about the rushing yards, Hanford. The Chiefs had 49 rushing yards total, but 4 of them came from Mahomes running when he was evading pressure.
Yeah.
So he got 25 yards off of scrambles from Patrick Mahomes, 24 yards from the rest of the running back group. That's brutal.
Dang.
And it just speaks to how good of, I know they didn't really run it very often, but that speaks to how good the defensive line unit is for the Eagles. And honestly, I'm going to put this up on the screen here as well. But they didn't. The Eagles didn't even blitz with pressuring Patrick Mahomes. This is coming from Next Gen Stats. But in their 42 dropbacks, they didn't blitz a single time.
And if we had
not once,
yeah, and if we had to do
that front four, fantastic front four, jeez.
And if we had to just name one thing that really surprised us in this ball game, that's where it would have to be with me is Eagles defense. How well they played against.
Travis Kelce was held to 4 receptions for 39 yards.
And those were late in the ball game. Those was pretty much when the game was over. That's when he got those. And then a couple times, I have to say this about Travis. I mean, they're doubling that guy the majority of the time because they know that that's the outlet for Mahomes. When he gets in trouble, he's going to go to Travis.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that about him. But, man, this was domination. And I don't know. You have to put some of this on the coaches, too. Yeah. Because those coaches, I don't think they made any adjustments during the course of the ball game to help those guys out. I mean, it just wasn't there in this ball game. So it was just tough all the way around.
Honestly, if they even tried to make those adjustments, I don't think they would have had the personnel to do it. Because Kareem Hunt's not going to get blocking done for that. Samaje Perine's not going to be able to do it. You can't really bring Travis Kelce or Noah Gray or all the tight ends in because that's just not how the offense works. Eagles secondary was phenomenal. You're just kind of stuck.
And you could tell it too. I guarantee you when they went in at halftime and after that first couple of series in the third quarter, Kansas City knew they were in trouble. They knew they were in trouble. They knew at that point in the ball game, and they're not going to give up. I mean, trust me, you're never going to give up on the field. You're going to continue to play hard and always believe that you can come back. But there's something back there that's telling them that this game is over.
Yeah,
It's over.
Tough look. Yeah, tough hard hits from our Lipton Hard Iced Tea Hard Hits segment. Let's take a break, Hanford. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. As we continue, we recap Super Bowl and all the chaos there, the halftime show, favorite commercials. I want to circle back to just how handsome Hanford looked over at the Greater Cleveland Sports Awards.
Look at the top dog
The
here.
25th
Oh,
annual.
he is looking sharp,
Look
isn't
at
he?
him all sharp on stage. You were giving an award, yes?
Yes, I think it was the high school. It was the high school athlete of the year. I think that was both men and women. I think
Okay.
it was both. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other thing we were joking about was how big DeJuan Jones is, and you're probably right up there with him.
I
When you
know.
come up
Look at
to
this
his
guy.
shoulder or
I
something,
knew you were.
like,
I knew you were gonna say that.
give a-
You know, and let me tell you guys something. DeJuan is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, and can you guys now, guys? You looking at him right there? That's without pads on.
Right.
Now, can you imagine this guy with shoulder pads on and all the other equipment, the thigh pads, knee pads, and the helmet on? I'm telling you, he is huge. You know what I said to him? It was so funny because I said, DeJuan, I said, they have you 6'7", about 350. I said, now tell me, that can't be right. He said, no, that ain't right, dog. He said, I'm 6'8", 370. I said, God damn. I said, now, can you imagine that coming around? Now, I'm playing, Gab, I'm playing corner. Can you imagine that coming around the corner at me? And I wouldn't, you know what I would have to do? I would have to go and react right away, because if I thought about it, I would go the other way.
pancake.
Yeah, I would go the other way. I wouldn't even go up and attempt to hit him. He's just that damn big. But you know he's so how do I put this? You know, talking to him, you forget.
Like a gentle giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to interview him for the Browns, and he's just like a normal.
He's-
Like he doesn't.
It's
have
like
this,
a kid.
He doesn't have this like aggressive. Aura.
No, right. But he's so nice.
Yeah, nice guy.
I mean, he's really, really nice, and you could tell though he's going to be a really good player because hell, can anybody block him? I mean that. that damn,
Hanford, what are you doing at 5'11", 186 if DeJuan Jones is coming at you?
big dog.
That's what you were listed at, by the way. Is that true?
I got to cut him, dog. You know, I was
5'11", 186?
I'm actually 6 foot. You
Okay.
know, they didn't
All
want to give me
Yeah,
my.
they
They
didn't
didn't want to.
We've
give
heard
me
that
my-
before, Gavin.
Yeah.
They didn't want to give me
Yeah.
my props,
Is
dog.
that what you put
but
on your
that's
dating profile?
That's right.
I like the running joke. It's a running
You
joke.
know,
People put it like they're a little higher than.
Yeah. People say 5'9", or they say if you're 6 foot, you're about 5'9".
Yeah.
But that can't be
No, I
true.
tell the truth.
Hanford is tall enough.
I tell the
he is
truth. I tell the truth. I don't care. But you know what? To answer your question, Pat, I'm gonna take his legs out from underneath him. I mean, because you can't hit him high because he would just crush you. He's that big. He would just absolutely crush you. You know, I thought it was interesting at the during the Super Bowl game when they did an average of the guys that are playing today and when the guys played back in the day and then I think the average was used to be 6'3", 245, and today it's like 6'6", over 330. Talking about the guys, and I was just trying to think on our team, did we have anybody that weighed pretty much about 330? I know we didn't have anybody weigh 370.
You talking those 80s Browns?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I know we didn't.
Ask Golick when he gets back in here. I don't know what he did. He wasn't that big, but ask Golick. He would probably know.
Golick. What is Golick? Probably 5'9". No,
Yeah, he's
don't
gotta
tell him I said that. I'd have to kill him. He would have a
figure that
fit.
Yeah.
He's probably Golick's probably about 6 foot, I would say.
Yeah, but if you give him a haircut, he might be shorter.
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
got that
yeah,
big poofy hair.
But it's just guys are getting bigger today. I don't know what the hell they're eating, but they're
It's crazy. I feel like life after football has to be hard because some of the stuff that they're doing to eat and keep that weight on it's difficult to sustain like outside of a career. It's nuts how they have to.
Well, I have to go back to real quick. I'll go back to one of the commercials they ran, and I thought was very, very. I thought it was good, especially for kids. Did you guys see the one where the kids repeated after, like, I am somebody, I am somebody, I am somebody, and all the kids will repeat that? I thought that was. Did you miss that one? You didn't see? Yeah.
I don't know if I saw that one.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I thought it was very, very interesting, and it takes all of us, is what they were saying. So
I like that. I love that.
Yeah. Pat, did you see that one?
Yeah, I pulled it up right here, but that was a good one for the NFL. It was courtesy of the NFL, but I like the messages that we need right now, the unifying messages here.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
So I think I heard the end of this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Was that with Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, he was narrating it. Yep.
And who was it? Tom Brady? Who was that?
Snoop and Tom Brady had one together. I know that.
Okay.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was
stand up to hate. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was, and I think in the end, Snoop Dogg Gab said, "It's a shame that we have to be."
Yeah, I did. I heard the end of this commercial because I went to go look and it was over because I was like, "Oh, this sounds like a serious one."
You were with that puppy.
Oh yeah, I was at the puppy bowl. Super Bowl puppy fiasco. Yeah.
I was waiting for you to curse me out after that one.
No,
Okay,
no.
okay,
Any note of puppies is gonna bring a smile to my face.
Okay.
We gotta take a break though. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon show. We're finishing up our show. Want to talk a little Taylor Swift, Hanford? Didn't get your thoughts on this, but I know we were chatting pre-show. What did you think of the T Swift boo?
Well, you know that's my girl.
Yeah,
I'm not a Swiftie or anything like that.
I'm not like technically a Swiftie, but like
let's don't get it twisted. But I couldn't believe that. I could not believe that.
Where do you think that was coming from?
Because I was upset, and I think the whole thing had to do something with the president, and that whole thing when she was. I don't think she's against Donald Trump or anything like that, because I think everybody, regardless, and I'm not going to get into that, regardless of who you voted for, all that, the most important thing now is we have a president, and I think we all get behind that president. I think that's very, very important. But I think that's
an interesting interpretation, because I kind of felt like it was people hating because of Travis and her, and they're maybe sick of Travis and her. They're sick of the Chiefs.
And
they
that
don't
could
want
be
the Chiefs to repeat. And I don't know.
That could be. That you could be correct. But I just,
It was bizarre though, because you'd think it'd be a split field at least. Like you'd hear some cheers. I don't know,
and me personally, I don't care. I wouldn't boo anybody. I'm just not that way. I just I just wouldn't boo anybody. I just felt bad for her, and not that Taylor Swift need me to feel bad for her. You know what I'm saying?
She'll be all right. She'll dry her tears with her money.
And boy, does she have with the B? I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it's somewhere in that term with the B.
My billions.
Oh boy,
I like when they say that. They're like, "Oh man, I'm so sad." Well, let me wake up sad in a Mercedes, and then I'll see what I can do with that. On the private jet.
No, not a Mercedes. With Taylor, it's a Bentley.
Yeah,
I
Bentley.
mean that's where Taylor is right now.
That's right.
She is. But you know what? I think she's a very caring person. I don't know her, but I think she comes across as a very caring person.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, I bet she does a lot to help a lot of people too. So
she does. Yeah, a lot of it is. She does. She puts a lot of money in places for good causes, and I think people have tried to twist her into more of a political character than she probably really is. I mean, it's just when you're that high on the pedestal and you have that much influence, of course people are going to rip you apart somehow.
And I guarantee you this, she's lifting a lot of people up.
Yeah.
Helping them along the way. Now that she's gotten there, I guarantee you she's got a tribe of people that she's helping. She's lifting up along the way.
Totally.
So good show.
Hey, good show, Top Dog. I had a lot of fun with you today. Way to bring the energy. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon show next week. Thanks for watching.